Hello and welcome to WVU Extension Today. We are so glad to have you back. We have so much in store today. Oh, by the way, I'm your host. My name is Zack. The holiday season is almost gone, but the holiday spirit is alive and well. So before we turn our calendars over, we have a little story we'd like to tell. The Capitol tree has touched the lives of so many stories to be told. Helping hands from all of our counties created ornaments for the tree to hold. Now let's learn how the Capitol tree came from the mountains of the mighty Mon. Sit down, grab a hot cocoa, get cozy, and let's begin Chapter 1.
In Monongahela National Forest, a tale to be told, where nature's beauty and secrets unfold. Amidst towering pines, what a beautiful sight, a tale is woven this tranquil night. The Capitol tree, traveling our wonderful state, from Elkins to Harper's Ferry, isn't it great? Now gather round closely and listen up too, for our friend Julie Fossbender has a story for you.
Every year since 1970, a different national forest is selected from across the whole country to provide the Capitol Christmas tree that sits on the west lawn of the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. We provided the first tree in 1970, we provided a tree in 1976, our bicentennial year, and now here in 2023, the Monongahela and the state of West Virginia will provide the Capitol Christmas tree. Right now, our forestry team is busy taking a look through the forest, trying to find the perfect tree. But 60 to 80 feet, pine tree, there's only really certain areas on the forest we're going to hope to get a tree that large. So once the architect of the Capitol selects the tree, and once the beginning of November rolls around, we will have a tree cutting celebration where, the final tree is announced. Then it's kind of tricky to get that tree because you don't want it to just fall down and get tore up on its way down. So the process is that we use two large cranes. One crane holds onto the top, one holds onto the bottom. Selected individual or two is honored with cutting the tree off. And so then the cranes lower the tree onto a 100-foot-long trailer. It's going to be hauled and we'll pack it and to protect it for the trip, around the state into DC. There's a big bladder of water that we keep full so the tree can drink as it's en route and doesn't get all dried up before it gets to DC. Not only do we provide the tree, but we also have to provide 2,000 to 3,000 large, waterproof, shiny ornaments. So that's totally awesome because everybody can see those ornaments 24/7. It's out on the west lawn. It's all lit up. But we also then provide what we call companion trees. And these are more regular house-sized Christmas trees, about 8 feet high. And they have, regular sized ornaments, 5 to 7 inches big. They don't have to be waterproof. And we have to provide 65 companion trees with 100 to 150 ornaments each. So if you do the math, it's a lot of ornaments. The expectations, the hope, the desire is that these are handmade from the state that has provided the tree. And so when we did the math and said, oh my goodness, we have to provide 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 ornaments, how are we going to get this done? And so a natural partner is, of course, the 4-H and the youth of West Virginia. So we are totally excited to partner with 4-H to produce these handmade ornaments that showcase what our kids can do and how great the state of West Virginia is. It's just everybody wants to get involved. And we couldn't be more excited about it because the Monongahela National Forest is public lands. It belongs to all of us. And so to see the public be so excited about a tree coming from our national forest is just more than we could have ever hoped for.
Now we've learned about the evergreen emblem, let's learn more about the ornaments on that mighty tree. So if you're ready for Chapter 2, we're about to meet our friends Stella and Lucy.
Making thousands of ornaments is no easy task, so the U.S. Forest Service made a special ask. When the state of West Virginia seeks aid, WVU Extension and 4-H lend their trade. Training ECIs to lead the charge, 4-H makes quick work, no job too large. We find our friend Lucy at WVU Jackson's Mill, who is helping young volunteers with this holiday thrill.
I love Christmas time. but I really love seeing 4-H come together as a state. We have different county camps and everybody has a different theme or a different plan, a different schedule, but to see all of the different 4-H camps come together this summer into one project, I think is going to be really impactful. Our kids are going to learn a little bit about the forest and the different uses that the Mon Forest has in West Virginia, and then they're actually going to participate in making a Christmas ornament that'll go to Washington, D.C. in November. The extension agents will get the packet. There's 7 different ornaments that they can do throughout the summer, and the Forest Service will assign those to each county. And it looks like over 3,000 hours of service and over 6,000 ornaments total, so a giant impact for 4-H this summer. And I knew it was going to be successful when they started talking about how they wanted to decorate the tree. And they had ideas, and they were excited about the West Virginia cryptids or what were the different symbols that they could use. And so having that kind of feedback instantly made me realize that this is bigger than we even imagined, you know, that it really does just resonate with everybody who gets to be a part of it. So I'm gonna date my mom a little bit. In 1976, the Capitol Christmas tree came from the Mon National Forest. So when we had the opportunity to have the tree come from the Mon Forest again, she instantly had all of these memories that came back to her about how they helped with this piece or that piece and who the trucking company was that hauled the tree. So those memories really are something that are gonna last a lifetime. I think the enthusiasm is contagious. So I'm excited, obviously. We spoke with Julie. She's so excited on the Forest Service end. Our ECIs were enthusiastic today and asking great questions. And now we're gonna take that to our campers. And it's gonna open their eyes to see how big 4-H is in the state of West Virginia, our collective impact, but also that what they did at their 4-H camp matters on a national stage. And so I think it's great for West Virginia. I think it's great for them to represent their state in that way. But getting to be part of that national event and really have West Virginia in such a positive light, I think will be a big deal to them.
I got to put beads on my ornament, and I put Mountaineer colors on one side and like crazy colors on the other side. 20 million because it's a really big tree. It's 2 times of that tree, add 2 more layers on that. I'm really excited. If I see my ornament on TV, I'm gonna jump out of the seat.
After making over 5,000 ornaments, our 4-Hers deserve some much needed rest. So let's now go to learn more about the ladies of the Cass CEOS. This goes to show how many great things can branch from a single tree. So now let's go and learn about these ladies and their service as we turn to Chapter 3.
In West Virginia, where magic resides, CEOS members, in their missions full stride, with hands skilled and eyes bright, crafting ornaments to adorn the tree's height. As this story unfolds with wonder and grace, a shining star's light, another tale we embrace. This one about Debbie, the president of Cass CEOS, who, with her friends, made the tree one to impress.
I believe in April we had a county council meeting where all of the different clubs in the county come together. And I think Becca Fink Clark came into the meeting and let us know about this project. So I took it back to our club and we talked about it and we decided to do that. By the time the whole thing was done, it's like a 3 to 4 different process to go with this. We actually sent 115 of these ornaments to Washington, D.C. After we finished, I posted them on Facebook just so that my friends could see, and I had people start asking me if they could buy them. And the answer was no, because we were donating them to the National Tree. So we got the idea that maybe we could make some more. So we have made about 165 ornaments, close to that, and we do community service projects just about every month. Sometimes we do them by the quarter, and so we're going to sell these ornaments and donate half the proceeds to one of our community service projects, and then the other half will go into our treasury to help us along the way when we are working on other community service projects. One of the reasons why I really latched onto this was when I found out that the last time West Virginia donated a tree was in 1976. That was 47 years ago. I think if we wait another 47 years before West Virginia is chosen, we won't be here. So I wanted our club, if they were willing to do it, to do something for that project. we decided to give one free ornament to each of our members. And when they look at that ornament, they're going to remember the project that we did in 2023 when the national tree went through and it was from West Virginia. And I just think that, to me, service is something that's in me, and when I was working, I wasn't able to do that. So as long as I'm able to continue to do things as I get older, I plan to.
The impact of this tree spread far and wide. That's easy enough to see. In fact, the Capitol tree took a tour of West Virginia. Maybe it stopped in your county. Some say it helped local tourism, supporting shops and towns and more. Our extension experts have that information, so let's turn to Chapter 4.
A national spotlight is placed on the Mountain State, so the communities of West Virginia have a lot on their plate. We know so well of the splendor and beauty, but to show the capital our best, that is our duty. Embarking on the journey through valleys and dew, and show our true colors, old gold and blue. There's more to the season than the Capitol tree. And to tell us more, let's meet Doug and Dee.
I think it's a chance to highlight a lot of the local communities that make their home amongst the hills of West Virginia, and a chance to really connect with the roots of Appalachia. And what's more Appalachia than our agricultural-based operations that's steeped in culture and heritage and traditions. And so as we talk about, you know, the fabric of what West Virginia is, it's really these small family farms and small businesses. And so spotlight on the tree coming from West Virginia is a chance to spotlight and showcase these small communities too, and ways that nationally and locally we can support these small family businesses here in West Virginia.
I've been a part of Mon Forest Towns since the program initiated in 2017. Was able to join forces with the Forest Service and USDA Rural Development, and had an opportunity to become engaged with the communities and assist the Forest Service in facilitating community meetings and having a conversation with the communities about partnerships to support the communities and engage the Forest Service and look at opportunities to develop recreation economies throughout the forest. I know that the towns are very excited and very proud to have a tree coming from the National Forest, and I think it helps to make the connection to the communities and the forest, and the fact that that tree will be in the capital, and that's going to be a symbol for the country, of our region, of our state, and gives the communities a lot of pride, and I think also the recognition that there are some real valuable assets here. And now you stand up in those higher elevations and you're able to see a restored spruce forest. It's one of the most beautiful, I think, places you could be in the country. And now we have a beautiful tree that will be a real beacon for our state. And I know that the communities are very proud of that and have been really thrilled to have an opportunity to showcase the tree as it's made its way through the communities and then through the state and on to the capital.
The tree eventually ended up on the west lawn to set a seasonal tone. It traveled the mountains, hills, and winding roads, but it didn't arrive alone. Our community, extension folks, and 4-H'ers tagged along for some seasonal fun. That included Randolph County 4-H'er Ethan, who had a special job before the night was done. Let's take you to the Capitol to reunite with all our friends and turn to Chapter 5 to see how this story ends.
Let's travel back to where our story starts, for our tree friend from the National Forest is set to depart. Folks from near and far usher in the holiday cheer with laughter and glee, spreading warmth for all to hear. A star on the road, a radiant light, through the state it roams, spreading joy so bright. But before our tale is set to end, we'll visit the tour and meet some new friends.
I'm the great-great-grandson of one of the very first supervisors of the Monongahela National Forest. The biggest reason I love West Virginia's forests and public lands is because they allow me to spend time with my family. I take photographs with my dad, hike with my mom, fish with my grandpa, identify wildflowers with my grandparents, and travel and explore with all of my family.
I like that I live very close to the National Forest and I get to see all the historical stuff, and I learn more about that each day in school too. Just in general, everything is amazing, and the wildflowers and birds really just perk up my day, like seeing the flowers. I think it's cool because when they started doing that Capitol Christmas tree from places, this was the first place where it came from. I'm really glad that I get to light it. It's still like a mystery if we're gonna go You don't know.
The forest supervisor thanked West Virginia 4-H. We made thousands of ornaments. Probably half the ornaments for all the trees came from West Virginia 4-H, and that's something to be proud of. And that is 4-Hers statewide coming together to make this happen. So even before we knew he had won the contest, we were planning on taking a group of 4-H members to see the lighting of the tree. And now it's even more special because we get to cheer on one of our own 4-Hers as he helps to light the Capitol Christmas tree.
Yeah, I did. I made an ornament camp and I helped make the giant multiplayer. Yeah, I'm really excited. Probably getting to see all the monuments and stuff.
I'm looking at the Capitol Christmas tree. I was in the right place where we didn't have. I made an ornament 4-H camp and I helped make the giant green clover down on the tree. I've never been to DC before, so I'm excited to see everything in Washington, D.C.
In Washington's embrace of winter's chill, monuments stand silent on Capitol Hill. An early morning drive with 4-Hers in tow. A jam-packed day ending with a bright, beautiful glow. From mountains high above the West Virginia dawn, the 63-foot Norway spruce leads us to the West Lawn. In the heart of the nation, where our stories convene, Ethan and other 4-Hers will brighten the scene.
The 5,000 ornaments that were placed on the tree are made by West Virginians and West Virginian youth with a lot of help from the West Virginia Extension Service. So there's no doubt that West Virginia is a very proud state today, as we are every day.
The guest of honor is Ethan Reese. There's Ethan, you'll be hearing from him later. He's pretty special, I can tell you that. There was 400 entrants into this contest, and Ethan was #1, so we're so proud of him.
I'm excited that the Capitol Christmas tree is from the forest where I live to explore. And I know my great-great-grandfather would be so happy that almost 100 years later, our beautiful Monongahela National Forest and other state lands have kept endlessly wild and wonderful. 3, 2, 1.
And now we can close this tale to be told, as we ring in the season to cherish and hold. The tree from West Virginia, the national mention, wishing you a very happy holidays from WVU Extension.
I don't know about you, but I've worked up quite an appetite. I think it might be time to make a snack to get me through this New Year's night. I recently had this cabbage recipe and I can't get enough. So let's head to the kitchen with Kerri Carte and see what's heating up.
Hello, I'm Kerri Carte. I work for WVU Extension in Kanawha County in the Family and Community Development Unit. And today I'm going to talk about the wonderful versatility of cabbage. Now everybody looks at cabbage and thinks, oh, humdrum, and thinks it's all overcooked and mushy and doesn't taste great. But there are actually wonderful ways to use cabbage. Cabbage is really high in vitamin K and vitamin C. It is extremely reasonably priced. And if it's done right, it can be a wonderful vegetable addition to your meal. So what I'm going to make for you today is roasted cabbage sections with Parmesan cheese. Whoa. Now the first thing you're going to do when you get your cabbage is wash it and take off the outer leaves. Now if you can see, I've already taken off most of the outer leaves, but you can take off as many as you want to make it as tight and compact as you want to. After you've washed it and taken out all the outside leaves, you're going to cut it. Now this is very dense inside. It is very heavy, and it's got a very heavy core in the center. So when you cut it, you have to have a good sharp knife to get it all the way through. So I'm going to cut it down the center. It's tough. And there's the inside. This inside core is what is so hard to cut through. That makes it hard. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna core it, because you don't want to eat that part. It's very hard. So we're gonna take and cut out the core. Once you cut out the core, it's very easy right in the center there. So we're gonna discard that. So we've cored it and I have this nice section out. Then I'm just gonna take my knife and I'm gonna cut down some nice slices. Not too thick, because I like them to get a little bit crispier, but just like that. And this one I'm gonna turn so I get a pretty slice on it. Yeah, just like that. You're gonna take your cookie sheet, layer it with parchment, makes cleanup way easier. And then I'm just gonna take these and I'm gonna lay them out on the cookie sheet. Any leaves that fall off, I just take them off, but you could absolutely tuck them in underneath if you wanted to. Waste not, want not. And there's my last one. Once I have them all on the cookie sheet, I'm just gonna take them and brush them with a little oil. Avocado oil is great on these, but if you don't have any avocado oil, you can definitely use olive oil or even a canola oil. But obviously, you know, the canola oils are not quite as good as the avocado or the olive oils. And it does give it a lovely flavor if you do those. Now, we're gonna put a little salt and pepper on them, just to kind of help them taste good. Use any kind of salt that you have on hand. And just a little bit, you don't want too much, just enough to flavor them. This slice is a little bit thicker, so I'm gonna add the rest there. I'm gonna grind up some fresh black pepper on top. If your family likes pepper, use a lot. If they don't like it as much, don't use much at all. It's one of those dishes that you can kind of adjust as you want. And then the last ingredient that's gonna go on is some Parmesan cheese. I opted for grated Parmesan cheese as opposed to the powdered. This is more of a shaved, I guess you would say, because I think it cooks up a little bit nicer. You're gonna put about a tablespoon on each one, just kind of spread it around so that it'll flavor nicely. And it always is gonna fall off on the tray. That's why the parchment paper is so nice. And then all we're gonna do is pop that in the oven. We're gonna cook it at about 425 degrees for 15-20 minutes, and voila. Okay, so we've just pulled them out of the oven and you can see how they get nice and browned on the edges. The cheese browns up and melts really nicely. Like I said, if you want it browner, you could definitely leave it in there longer, but it's a wonderful side dish. It's very healthy and it's very reasonably priced, so hope you enjoy it. So another great easy recipe to do with cabbage is coleslaw. Coleslaw is very simple and easy to make. There's a lot of variations, but today I'm going to share with you my family's version of coleslaw, which is very simple. Now, you absolutely could take your cabbage, your head of cabbage, cut the core out. You can shred it on a box shredder, or you can put it through a food processor. If you're like me and you're sometimes very short on time, I like to pick up the bagged coleslaw mix. Okay? This was actually already on sale, so it was even more of a bargain since I was planning to use it right away. So the basic ingredients is shredded cabbage and shredded carrots. So I'm going to use my bag. As you can tell, it's already got both ingredients in it. And I'm going to put a generous 2 cups in there. There's 1, and there's 2. Now, my family likes a little heavy on the carrots. So again, I cheated and bought some of these shredded carrots. Obviously, you pay more money when you do this, but if time is of the essence, then it's a real saver in time. And if that means you're gonna eat it and eat healthy, then it's money well spent if you can afford to do it. So my coleslaw only has 3 ingredients in it: mayonnaise, vinegar, and sugar. Okay? So for mayonnaise, we put in a 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. If your family likes it creamier, add a little more. If your family doesn't like it so creamy, wants it a little drier, you can reduce it some. I am using reduced fat mayonnaise Help save on a few calories and some fat. So keep in mind, if you're using a reduced fat mayonnaise like I am, there's more water content in this. Now as cabbage sits, cabbage is high in water and it will leach some of that water out. It'll just kind of, you know, be in the bowl. You might have to drain some of it off. It's going to get really runny really quickly. So keep that in mind, that your low-fat mayonnaise is not going to store as long as a higher fat mayonnaise would. But I just make it for one meal and then we eat it. I am going to put in 2 tablespoons of sugar. This is just plain sugar. If you have honey, you could use honey and that would give it a little different flavor. I would not suggest like a brown sugar though, but honey would be fine. And the last is vinegar. And I use a tablespoon of vinegar. I like just a plain apple cider vinegar, that's my favorite. You could use white vinegar. If you use a balsamic vinegar, that's going to change your flavor pretty much. So kind of keep that in mind if you are up to use a balsamic. And then I'm just going to take it and I'm going to mix it up here in my bowl. If your family likes it a little tangier, go ahead and add more vinegar to it. That won't change the health content at all. Once you get it all mixed up, I like to serve coleslaw in a glass bowl because it looks so pretty. So I'm just going to take it and put it in. And you can serve it with a fork or a spoon, whichever you want. I like to use a fork. And there you go, very simple coleslaw. If you let it sit for about an hour or so, it will taste better as those flavors meld. Easy as that. Hope you enjoy.
Well, that just about does it for this episode of WVU Extension Today. But before we sign off, there's just one last thing I'd like to take some time to say. I hope that the rest of your night is filled with nothing but happiness and cheer. And from everyone at WVU Extension, we wish you a happy and healthy new year. We'll see you next time.